Attention outlet shoppers. Right now, save 50 to 70% off everything for the family at Gap Factory stores and online. With shorts from $14.99 and tees from $6.99. And save 50 to 70% off everything at Banana Republic Factory stores and online. With an extra 50% off clearance and dresses for women starting at $19.99. Hurry! Search our store locator for your nearest Gap Factory and Banana Republic Factory store or shop us online.
Blog Talk Radio.
Good morning. It's Jeff Altman, the Big Game Hunter. It is Monday. I believe it's March 12th, 2012, and I'm going to be talking with you about some no BS job search advice. That's what I do Monday mornings at 9 Eastern, is to try and give you some very direct and straightforward advice about how to be searching for your work more effectively, how to find more interviews, how to get better results, how to be more effective, and how to do it with a lot less pain than you're probably going through. One of the things I hear time and time again is job hunting is awful. I hate having to do this. And we know that there's no other game in town right now other than networking and being hired by your former boss, by your best friend, and not having an interview. But aside from that, you have to interview. You have to go through this process. So I want to help you make it become less painful than it may be for you now. And what I decided to do this week is jot down some of the questions I've received. Oh, I forgot to mention, I apologize. Today's show is brought to you by consultingassignments.com. Consultingassignments.com is a site where you can find, guess what, consulting assignments, but you can also get full-time consulting positions, contract to hire, temp and temp-to-perm positions anywhere in the world. Job posting is free, so if you have an assignment or a full-time consulting role or any of the others that I mentioned previously, you can post them for free. You can search resumes for free, which is ideal if you're a consultant. You know, you want to be in a position where people are reaching out to you. So upload a resume, post an assignment or a full-time consulting job, and that's consultingassignments.com. So as I was starting to say when I realized I almost made a gaffe there, this week's show is one where I'm going to be answering some of the questions I've received. So first question someone sent to me is, I just got laid off. What's the first thing I should do now that I've been laid off? And my answer to them was really very simple. Make a budget for yourself. See, most people start off by writing a resume, getting into a frenzy of trying to get interviews and being ill-prepared. And one of the things that they need to be prepared for is to figure out how long they can afford to be out of work. Now, I know, positive thinking and all that sort of stuff is important. And I'm, frankly, a strong believer in it. But I'm also a believer in being very practical. And some people will try to get a big salary increase or hold the line on their previous income, and they can only afford to be out of work for 2 or 3 weeks. It's ridiculous. They can't do it. They can't get what they want in that amount of time. So my encouragement is to start by making a budget for yourself, figuring out what you can afford and what you can't afford, cutting back on your costs so that in this way you're not caught short in a panic mode. Because like dating, you are better off where you can be a little cool, where you don't have to be so anxious to get what you want. Okay? So that was the first question I received. Second one is, how can I get more interviews? And if you've heard my show before, this is the most simple question I ever get. How can I get more interviews? And if you're sending out a resume, the simplest answer I can give you is send them a resume that shows that you can do the job. Most people send the same resume out over and over again. And it's like the broken watch that's right twice a day. Some of them get interviews, but they miss on a lot of chances because they just don't demonstrate in their resume that they're qualified to do the job. Send a resume that demonstrates the fit. And I must in all candor tell you, some people will say, but I did it 8 years ago. No one cares. They care about what you've done more recently because a lot has happened in your life and in the world, and in most things over the course of a long period of time, not just 8 years or 10 years or 15 years or 5 years. So recognize firms really care about what you've done the last couple of years. So show them that you've done the work that they care about somewhat recently, and you'll get more results. Next question, how long should my resume be? Oh, that's another of those great questions. Your resume really should be in a couple of different formats. Now, I'm not talking about chronological or functional, but I believe that what you should do is have one generic resume. Hear me out, just follow my thinking for a second. One generic resume you might put on a job board, but when you're responding to others, you ought to be piecing out the sections of your resume from that one that are most relevant. Because as I said, people don't care about what you've done. They care about what you've done that relates to what they're looking for in the way of experience. So ideally, you want to keep your resume to 2.5 pages. I know in some technology fields where people work as consultants on a regular basis, resumes tend to be longer, but frankly, no one goes that far back in your resume. So recognize the behavior. You want to cram in as much in the first 2 to 3 page downs that someone might use when looking at your resume, because they don't go any further back. So again, that's just a behavioral thing. No one is reading your resume item by item to make sure that you have all the details back in the Stone Ages. They care about your recent work. So you want to get that in as soon as possible in your resume and make it easy for them to see it and to figure it out. This is a great question. The last interview I went on ended abruptly after 15 minutes. What happened? Now, I can't be absolutely sure because there really wasn't enough information in that question. In case you haven't figured out, I distilled the questions I received down to their core elements. So that's really what it came down to. A 15-minute interview instead of a 60-minute interview. What happened? Now, there are a couple of possibilities, and of course it includes you said something stupid. And it caused them to say, I'm not going to waste my time with this person anymore. Or you said multiple things that were stupid, which is even worse. But the likelihood is that what happened is they misread something in your resume, or they inferred something in your background. And in the course, or they just made a mistake. And in the course of speaking with you, they realized you were not the person that they wanted to meet with. Not because of you, because of their own mistake. Most firms won't admit that. And as a result, what happens is they start talking with you and they think to themselves, my God, this is not what I was hoping for. And they bring it to an end rather than wasting time. So in all probability, that's what happened. And of course, I can't be absolutely sure. You could have made the stupid mistake, but anything's possible. But experience tells me that's often what happened. They made a mistake that they haven't owned up to, and that's why your interview ended relatively abruptly. So those are some of the questions I want to deal with. If I have time, I'll come back to one more a little bit later. Before I start talking with you about some of the jobs I'm recruiting for, I want to let you know of something that I decided to do with Amazon.com. So beginning tomorrow, which is Tuesday, or actually tonight at midnight if you want to look at it that way, but on Tuesday and Wednesday of this week, you can download a copy of The Single Best Question You Should Ask on Any Interview absolutely free on Amazon. That's the Kindle edition of it. And if you don't own a Kindle, if you own another device, you can download Kindle software onto your device and then download a copy of my book absolutely free. I decided to do it for a couple of reasons, and I just want to be clear. I'm not making any money on this, but I just figured people need help, and I thought this is a good book to help people with their interviewing. Now, it does include the single best question you should ask on any interview, and it tells you when to ask it. It also includes more than 200 other things you need to know in order to be effective with your interview. It gives you some ideas of questions you should ask at the end of an interview in order to get information that's useful for you in making a decision and to demonstrate that you prepared well for the interview. So download a copy of the single best question you should ask on any interview Tuesday and Wednesday. After that, it goes back to $9.99 on Amazon, where I have it exclusively for now. So, again, the single best question you should ask on any interview, absolutely free, Tuesday and Wednesday of this week on Amazon. Okay? So, let me talk with you about some of the new positions I'm recruiting for around the United States. Now, the first couple are consulting assignments. First one's in Seattle. It's for a Cognos TM1 lead to lead a project in Seattle. They'll consider a contractor, and the best I'll be able to pay is about 60, maybe 62 per hour, corp to corp. It'll be a little bit less on a W-2. They'll do a contract to hire or a full-time person, and their preference is someone local, but they'll also do fly-in, fly-out. So again, 60 to 62 an hour, be a little less on the W-2, probably about 57 on the W-2 for a Cognos TM1 lead. Next one is also in Seattle for a data migration consultant, 60 per hour corp to corp, SDLC background, project management, experience with data migrations. There are more details on my website, jeffaltman.com. You can read the details there. Then in Salt Lake City, Utah, there's an SAP data migration consultant where they want someone with a background with SAP data migration, data mapping, business objects, LSMW, BDC, BAPI. The rate on this is open plus expenses being paid, again, in Salt Lake City, Utah. Then in New York, an SAP BW reporting lead. So they want to bring on someone who is a BW reporting architect or lead to oversee the reimplementation of BW at this firm. So part of the job is political, part of it's technical. Figure it's a 6-month plus assignment. Rate is open on this. Please just quote your best rate when you forward a resume to me. In Seattle again, an SAP Convergent Invoicing FICA consultant. They'll pay market rate for this. They want someone with experience in Convergent Invoicing and FICA and RMCA, which is part of the Enterprise Services Bundle. I'm sorry, again, this is a contract assignment they'll pay a market rate for. In New York, we're looking for a C, C++, C# developer for an equities trading group to build various applications. They want someone with TCP/IP and socket programming, WinForms, applications development background, preference for financial trading industry experience, going to 150 on a base plus bonus. I have a host of wealth management advisor roles in a variety of cities. I can't list them all right now because of time, but at jeffaltman.com you'll be able to see the locations and the requirements. Last job I'll mention is an Oracle Digital Security Professional. Actually, it's multiple roles, going to about 135 on a base. Background with identity management, OAM, OIM, OIA, OE, OBD, OAAM background, road warrior positions going to about 135, so you're doing 80% travel. If you're qualified, interested, and available in any of these, please email your resume to me at thebiggamehunter@cisny.com. Come over to my site for more job leads. There are many positions at jeffaltman.com plus places to post your resume. I'm also going to tell you, you really got to take advantage of that offer I've made to download my book on Tuesday or Wednesday of this week. Again, it's only going to be available Tuesday and Wednesday for free. It is specifically for Kindle, so if you don't own one, download the software to your device, and you'll be able to get a copy of the book. This is Jeff Altman, the Big Game Hunter, here with No BS Job Search Advice. I'll be back to you next Monday at 9 a.m. with more. Take care.
Attention outlet shoppers. Right now, save 50 to 70% off everything for the family at Gap Factory stores and online. With shorts from $14.99 and tees from $6.99. And save 50 to 70% off everything at Banana Republic Factory stores and online. With an extra 50% off clearance and dresses for women starting at $19.99. Hurry! Search our store locator for your nearest Gap Factory and Banana Republic Factory store or shop us online. Attention outlet shoppers. Right now, save 50 to 70% off everything for the family at Gap Factory stores and online. With shorts from $14.99 and tees from $6.99. And save 50 to 70% off everything at Banana Republic Factory stores and online. With an extra 50% off clearance and dresses for women starting at $19.99. Hurry! Search our store locator for your nearest Gap Factory and Banana Republic Factory store or shop us online.